Welcome along to EXFL Tier 2 Season 12. We're here for round 8 of 20. It's the Spanish Grand Prix with a Sauber nearly binning it on the exit of the pit lane. We're 13 at the moment, still waiting for one more to join of Christian, the other McLaren. We're here at Catalonia, Barcelona. Round 8 then, like I said. Let's get into the drivers. Oren, currently in the pit lane, and now exiting the garage, leads the World Championship on 95 points. Toby, 10 points behind on 85 points. Samurai, also 10 points behind on 75 points. And Finn was on 65, so a bit of a 10-point margin between the top four in the standings. However, this last week has seen quite a few changes to Tier 2 and the grid as a whole. We've lost a few drivers, to be fair. That's maybe why there's a bit of a dip this week. Should be back to normal next week for Austria as we approach the halfway stage of the season soon already. We have lost Ridian and Josh Hewitt from the Alpine team. So Cal and his mate Louis have been promoted. Good to see for them. It's unfortunate for Ridian and Josh to have left, but it's their decision. It is what it is. We respect it. And also, Dello has unfortunately left the Red Bull team and the league. So Deadgun has been promoted to replace him. Deadgun, who now is the new record holder for most races without a point in Tier 2 of 8. This is his 9th. And who knows, maybe he could scrap for a point today. So yeah, he's been promoted, and as of yesterday, unfortunately, Finn has also left Tier 2. It was a bit of late notice from him, but that means Yonder has officially been promoted now to RB. He was initially put in the Red Bull, and then Finn's late call swapped that, as Yonder has pretty much been in the RB all season, so he may as well be full-time in there. So yeah, and the final, I think, word is Simon has returned. He was in the league a couple seasons ago, and he left because he didn't have F125. Now he has F125, so he is reserving in the Sauber today. And he will be finishing what is an invalidated lap. We got Chaz F1 and Beanmeister reserving in the Ferraris once again. I believe they both did that in Qatar. Adam managed to get a point on the board. Chaz has currently got 5 DNFs in a row. Hopefully it won't be 6, as diving into turn 1, it looks like he may have just been impeded by the Sauber. As Deadgun sets the pace, yeah, that's not on at all, and I think he's actually hit the Sauber right there, as Cookster goes quite a bit quicker than his teammate at the moment. So Chaz's first run has been impeded, as Oren goes 3/4 of a tenth behind Cookster's 13.3 lap time. So we've had 7 races so far. We've had 5 different pole sitters. Grush has had 2 poles. In both Bahrain and last week in Italy, and Dello had the other 2, and the rest have been singles. The only driver to convert pole into victory has been Samurai, which was a couple weeks ago in Japan. As even though there's a bit, it's the least we've had all season, there's quite a lot of traffic out there for the drivers. But Samurai will make his way around the final couple of corners. It is a short track, to be fair. That's why we're seeing some quite close margins with the 2 Alpines not too far away. We'll see what Samurai can do as Grush dips into the 12s, nearly 6/10 clear. We'll see what Samurai can do. It's P6 at the moment, so it looks like he's doing a slow and then a push again. So yeah, that's already quite a pretty good margin for Grush, 12.8. I think Tier 1 would be in the 11s. So that's pretty much right. But yeah, Grush is on it when it comes to his 1 lap pace so far. I think the thing he's still trying to focus on, or should be, is I think just overall consistency in the race in terms of his pace. He had a pretty big opportunity last week in Italy, same as Toby and Yonder, who were around 7th and 8th, who managed to claw their way up to 2nd and 3rd by the end. And Grush was ahead of them on the exact same tyre life, but unfortunately just didn't go anywhere. He actually went backwards. So if he really wants to get back to the front of this championship, because he's now obviously been promoted to 4th, when Finn's name gets removed from the standings, he'll be on 60 something, but he's like 30 points off the lead now. So yeah, he really needs to convert these great qualifying results into race victories, because the points are only scored in the race. Toby's gone fourth while all that was happening, and Chaz F1 out of nowhere now just goes in front of Grush as Samurai improves once again on his second run to be within half a second. And a bit like a week or so ago when Ferrari were... Oh, there's a Haas-off in the background. I think that's Toby. When Ferrari were celebrating their home races with drivers that were barely, I guess, showing up, so Chaz will probably take the Ferrari seat. He deserves it at this rate. He's managed to pull in a great lap time himself, as Oren's now gone to within 3/10. So yeah, that's great to see for Chaz up at the front. I do recall he is good at Spain, to be fair. He's been pretty successful here in both Tier 2 and Tier 1. He's won around here before in Season 7, which was, 2.5 years ago, 5 seasons ago. And I remember he got a pretty good lot of points in a Tier 1 race he did, also in Season 7. That must have been half a year earlier. So yeah, he's definitely had some experience around here. He is now the joint 4th most experienced Tier 2 driver we've ever had. 108 races, level with Nathan, who drives for Sauber. And obviously today we'll put him ahead of Nathan with his 109th, as Grush goes even quicker by nearly 3/10 ahead of Chaz. 12.8 now to a 12.5. So Grush strikes back, and it's very interesting to see that a lot of these drivers are fueling themselves for multiple runs. It's not just a case of 5 or 6 kilograms, you go out there, you do the lap, you head back in, you do it 2 more times, or 3 more times if you really want to choose softer, or only 2 times if you want to save a set. But yeah, that's what Grush is doing, that's what Samurai has always done, to be fair. As Toby, I think, is going again. He did spin down at turn 1 or 2, so if he can do an improvement, that would still be quite impressive. Toby, who's had decent qualifying pace, always qualified at the front. His starts are always the big question mark, because they were always pretty poor until last week, where he actually got a good one. And yeah, there was a lot of leaders, including him, for last week's Italian Grand Prix, and that's Adam, who I think just dipped onto the grass there and has sent him into a spin. That may have been a bit of an eyesore for Toby, but he carries on. Going up the hill into this left-right. Oh, that's all wrong. And into the wall goes Toby, losing it on the big yellow sausage curb. Losing a bit of front wing, but he's still in the session, which is the key thing. So yeah, pretty difficult. A few corners to get right. It's not a chicane, even though I think it is. And yeah, he's lost it out of there, so he'll head back in the pit lane and fix his wing and go again. Seb goes up to P3 as well. We know Seb's pretty good around here too. The Tier 2 Season 9 champion, the only champion racing today. As like I said, unfortunately, Josh has left, and Will, for the first time this season, is not racing. So yeah, Seb, who actually is, before we even get into the race really, well, before the lights come on, Seb has already made a bit of history today. Because when he was racing a few seasons ago, he was the most experienced Tier 2 driver we've ever had. And then Frosty Life did Season 10 and 11 after Seb went to Tier 1 or left and whatnot. And then Frosty got it again. And then when Frosty left during last season, he had a total of 138 races. And last week was Seb's 138th race. So today, yeah, Seb's making a bit of history. He will be the first driver to ever hit 139, as that's both Astons in the top 5 now. Can't really say the same for real life. But yeah, Seb will become, once again, the most experienced Tier 2 driver in history. Record that Chaz has held, Seb has held, Frosty's held, and maybe a few others back in the early days. But yeah, those are the most known names we've seen across the last 6 years or so. So yeah, Seb, I mean, you'd assume he'd do one more race after this as well. We'll hit the big 140 and maybe even 150 if his attendance is really good this season. And yeah, one podium to his name so far, which was in Japan 3 weeks ago. It was a great race from him. Wasn't straightforward, but he still managed to qualify second and finish second but he really had to work for it. And I don't know. We've seen, well, that's over the curb for Deadgun. And that's actually quite surprising for him, considering he used to be this far off when he was in the league, and then he left. And then when he's rejoined, he's always been within just under 2 seconds. But at a track where you'd think that would get even smaller, because it's a shorter track compared to the ones we've been to in the past. Okay, Imola and Italy were actually still short. You'd think this one would be no different, but at the moment, he's not exactly got the best time on the board. In fact, Simon's improved a little as well. He always used to be around 3 off, so just over 2. It's not too bad. As Samurai pops himself up in the 4th ahead of Oren, which is crucial, obviously. Oren being the championship leader, 20 points ahead of Samurai, so he knows he needs to eke into that gap at the moment. But yeah, we've had 20, 18, 16, and now... well, it should be 14 at the moment. I have no idea where Christian is. He said he's got to update his game. But he's not said anything at the moment. Why you make him sound on? Didn't mean to, but yeah. Do not have a clue where Christian is, unfortunately. I'm just going to quickly send him an invite. Oh, is he online? Oh, he is. He's on home. Okay, so maybe he can join by the end of quali. Oh, is off into the gravel. Is the Red Bull of Deadgun in that striking white and red Honda livery. Right, Chaz is out there, finishing the middle sector split. He's up by just over a tenth and a bit, which would improve his time, but not his position. He would still be lacking a tenth and a half, as he's got 3 corners to go. And if he can extract a tenth and a half from these 3 corners, that would be quite a surprise. Round the final corner then for the Ferrari. He's currently on the front row. Can he go one better? 12.5 time to beat. It's a 12.514 and he misses out by 5 thousandths. Sometimes the timing's wrong with a thousandth for some reason. That's why it's saying 4, but it's actually 5. Wow. Extremely fine margins there between Grush and Chaz. That's great to see. And Chaz may be slightly annoyed there that he's just been denied provisional pole, but he'll get one more go at it. And I'm sure Grush will also be able to find some time on the board too. But great lap from Chaz once again. It's looking great. And I'm really hoping it's not 6 out of 6 and he can A, finish the race, and B, get some points. That would be great to see as the 5 people behind him are still in the pit lane. Cookster's now finishing the middle sector split. He's up by 3 tenths, which would put him up into the top 5. And if you could do what Chaz did and find nearly a tenth and a half in the last sector, maybe even challenge for the second row with just under 5 minutes to go. So he should certainly be able to do this lap, head into the pits, slap on his final set of tyres, and give it everything. Crosses the line, and it is the second row. He has managed to slot his Red Bull in between Seb and Samurai. And again, fine margins. If he found a few more thousandths, he could even be beating Seb for third. But yeah, good lap from Cookster there as he goes across the turn 1 chicane. Yeah, we have no rule in place, I guess. If you go wide, you don't really have to follow the runoff area, but I guess it's advised A, to not get warnings or penalties, and B, because it's safer. Simon's out there, heading into turn 1. Don't know if has begun a lap. So into the first chicane then. This track does seem like one of the easiest, but when you actually get down to the finer details and margins, it is quite difficult to extract lap time when you're just going constantly through corners you easily know with muscle memory. So trying to extract every ounce of thousandths is always tricky. But at the moment, Simon's not doing too bad of a lap, considering this is his first race back in a while. Takes the non-chicane pretty well. Pretty cautiously, however. I think he's just trying to get a bit of a better time on the board, but he's attacked turn 9 too much, and he's invalidated. Grush is out there, though, trying to show Simon how it's done, as he's currently still on provisional pole, taking a bit of a middle line through turn 3, actually. Usually a lot either go close to the right, as Adam's left, as Grush is half a tenth down. So he's got the Aston in front of him, and now behind him I think, yeah, that's Oren. So Grush will carry on. So yeah, half a tenth down. Looks like he is trying to push, and didn't look the best of exits through 7 and 8. But we'll finish the middle sector split. Has he found any time? Yes, he has. So he's found overall a tenth from the first sector split, and he's up by just over half a tenth, which would extend his advantage to Chaz, currently being 5 thousandths. If he can keep it going through the final couple corners, we'll see him maybe dip into the 4s, maybe even the 3s. Round the final corner for Grush, looking for his third pole of the season. Crosses the line, and he's found a mighty time right at the end there in the final sector. Really seems like that last sector has got a lot to offer for the drivers, because he has found nearly 2 tenths there, and he's set the benchmark of a 112.2. Samurai's been disqualified for blocking the pit lane. What on earth has happened there? Oh, he will start this race then from the back. And that is not what he needed at all. What on earth has happened? He might have been just getting out of the way either way. Oh, that is disaster for the Williams. He's got it all to do. Last season it was his teammate Kobe who had a shocker in Spain, which was so uncharacteristic compared to the rest of his season. This time round it's the other Williams. Wow. So yeah, Grush, 12.286 is the time to beat. And I believe he will be able to go for one more run because he'll be fueled. So we'll see what the rest can do. Seb has just begun his lap into turn 1. Takes it very nicely indeed, using pretty much the right amount of curb. Trying to stick close to the inside as he finishes the first sector split. He's up by just under half a tenth, but he's half a second off pole position at the moment, so he needs to find a lot more than that to challenge. Oren, big lock up into turn 1, I believe, as the championship leader looks to get ever closer to the top. 1 week from making history, being the first driver to ever win 12 times in Tier 2. And in its 12th season, he's up by a tenth at the moment. Cookster's going to be one of the last to cross the line. I think that was Louis just crossing the line there to make that 2 Alpines in the top 8. Toby will be the last to cross the line, but he's got a lot of traffic, both in front and behind him. And once again, Simon just not checking his mirrors. And that's not the greatest start to Toby's final run. But we die phrase. Everyone else, I think, has begun their lap times now. As Seb crosses the line then, and he goes onto the front row to be just over a tenth off Grush, who's up by even more time after the first 2 sectors. But he loses the car on the exit as Cal retires, and Grush will not go any quicker. In this qualifying session, he could have maybe even dipped it into the 11s. That was looking like a really great lap. Oren will go 4th in the end there. What about Chaz F1? He's up by 2 tenths. He needs to find 26 more thousandths in the final sector to get pole position. What about Cookster? He's up by a tenth and a bit. Callum has been sandwiched by the 2 Alpines. So Chaz F1 then, on return in Season 12. Is this pole position for Ferrari? He crosses the line. It's the front row. He still needed another tenth, but it's the front row nonetheless. Great qualifying for the Ferrari. What about Seb? He's done with qualifying then. Cookster went 4 thousandths off Oren to P5. Louis crosses the line. What about Toby then? He's roughly the last driver who can deny Grush pole position. Crosses the line. He goes up to P4 to replace Oren. That's crucial considering these 2 are the top 2 in the World Championship. And then we have Simon who's out of the way. So, for a 3rd time this season, Grush is on pole position. He made a mistake right at the end. It didn't matter. The lap before was good enough. And Chaz F1 joins him on the front row for the first time in a while. Fantastic effort as Seb, his old teammate and friend, is right behind him with Toby once again. He's pretty familiar with that 2nd row this season. Let's see if he keeps it. And yeah, Oren, championship leader, P5. His main rival right in front of him. His other main rival disqualified and will start at the back. It's a shame to see, well, more like not see what Samurai could have done. Alright then. So yeah, like I said, Grush takes his third pole of the season. Maybe it's third time's the charm this time, because Bahrain went horribly wrong for him, as it looks like it's going to be a dry race then. Bahrain went horribly wrong for him. He finished, I think, eighth that race. Got pole last week, so yeah, back-to-back poles for Garouche. He's the first driver to do that this season. Last week he finished, I think it was 6th. So yeah, pole has not been the best place to start for him, but he looks quick, he looks confident, he looks strong for today, and maybe he can convert it. 33 laps, however. It's the most laps of a race we've had so far this season. Obviously, Imola a couple of weeks ago was 32. And next week, Austria will be 36, which is the most laps we have at any circuit this season, joint with Brazil, the finale. So, yeah, just waiting for the drivers. We can hear the ticking noises, fuel setups, and tyres all just being adjusted. And we'll see what they've opted for. Should be a one-stop, hard, medium, medium, hard, etc. Don't need that. Interesting. Alright. So, 2 hard runners in the field. Chaz and Seb are P2 and P3. That will give Grush some confidence then for the start on those medium compound tyres to have a bit more traction away from the line. And then will be Toby, who will be looking to gain a place or so on the mediums compared to those ahead. Then Oren, Cookster, Callum, and the other Callum follow behind him. And then Louis opted for the softs. Same with Simon and Deadgun, who's already had a spin on a straight somehow. Samurai and Adam have also opted for the mediums at the back. So, Samurai taking a page out of his teammate's book of Birdie, qualifying around P13. Let's see how far he gets up the order. Pretty decent qualifying for Alpine as far as things go. I mean, with how many there are, to be fair, it's kind of the same. But, I mean, they'll be happy still with 7th and 9th as... I have no idea if it's lag or whatnot, but the cow was losing the car a lot, and Louis just gone off there. What can Callum do from 8th? His teammates up in 5th. He knows Aston are probably the only team that are going to challenge RB for the Constructors' Championship. And RB, who have taken a hit, like I said, and they've lost Finn, who left the league. So now it's Yannick and Yonder. However, for the first time this season, we have no RBs on the grid, so it's a big opportunity today for Aston Martin to gain on RB. And the rest of the season that follows, it should be a bit of a closer fight than we had thought a few weeks ago in the Constructors, which is great. And obviously in the drivers, there's always a fight. And we're going to write this next chapter. Chapter 8, the Spanish Grand Prix. Who's going to take the win today? We've had... Of the 7 races, we've had 5 different winners, and the only repeat winner has been the championship leader, Oren. 95 points to his name for car number 95. The other 4 races he's done, he's only scored a collective of 20 points. Christian, too little, too late, my friend. You are not here for the race in time, because we are 5 lights away from the start here in Barcelona. Here come the lights then. It's the Spanish Grand Prix. It's lights out, and away we go. Grush on those mediums, getting a good start ahead of Chaz and Seb, who are swapping already. Riding on board with Toby, as it looks like Chaz is losing momentum. Seb is up into second then. Can Chaz hold on to third, or can Toby go around the outside of the Ferrari, who goes late on the brakes and keeps the place? Great stuff from Chaz. There's a spin in the back of Cookster, who's dropped all the way down to the back, followed with Callum as well, as Samurai's already up 4 places. It's Grush from Seb, from Chaz, Toby, Oren, Poisonous Gold, and Simon are up to 6th and 7th using those soft compound tyres. And like I said, yes, Samurai's at 4 places. It's been a dreadful start for Callum down in 12th, and Cookster at the back in P13. So, biggest gainer at the moment is Simon and Samurai. That's Oren making a move on Toby. Wheel-to-wheel stuff. Oren around the outside of Toby, the top 2 in the World Championship. And Oren's just demonstrated a beautiful move on the Haas. You don't see many moves there, especially on the opening lap as going wide is the Sauber of Simon, who's under pressure. It's nearly 3-4 wide behind him. And down the inside goes Simon. That's too late on the brakes, sending Samurai and Cow into a slide. And, yeah, you can tell Simon's one of the more inexperienced drivers in the field. As, yeah, too late on the brakes for the Sauber. So Samurai and Adam composing themselves as we finish the first lap, and that's Cal getting past Deadgun. So Grush, 8/10 clear of Seb, who's ahead of Chaz, who's under pressure from Oren, moving this way and that. And that's way too many times on the straight as Oren going to the inside, trying to get the move on Chaz F1. Slight contact between them. Chaz goes slightly wide, didn't really leave too much space, and because of their squabbling, they've lost DRS. Oren trying another move round the outside of Toby last lap, now trying to go round the outside of Chaz this lap. The Aston versus the Ferrari. Chaz keeps his nose in, but this time Oren, using those mediums, has the inside line, now gets the move to the inside. Chaz now trying to hang it around the outside, goes deep, and Oren has gone from 5th to 4th within the span, 5th to 3rd within the span of a lap. That was really big elbows out stuff from the pair of them. Chaz did not want to concede the place, and I think he did move too many times on the straight. I counted about 4 or 5, and that's way too late, as it looks like turn 9 is a struggle for these drivers. And yeah, Seb's lost DRS at the moment to Grush. It's understandable with the mediums to hard deficit. And now Orange trying to use his mediums to get back within a second of Seb. As everyone down to 10th is within a DRS train. Looks like Callum's caught them. But they're all over the place. At least Simon is struggling and whatnot. As going off there, the dirty air through the final corner, hitting Callum. And the other Cal, Cookster. And yeah, it's been dreadful for Red Bull. As we see Samurai making a move on Simon to the inside. P13 to P7. Don't know if that was lag or he cut the corner there a little, but he got the move done. So yeah, good stuff from him. Right, let's enable everything. That's Adam now getting past Simon as well to the inside. The Ferrari on the Sauber. And it looks like... Nope. There we go, right. So yeah, Simon just bump drafting the Ferrari a little bit. But it looks like Adam will pull away now. Up in P8, getting some solid points on the board at the moment. Callum's got it all to do. Oh no, Chaz F1 has spun at turn 8. And all his hard work from qualifying has become undone, unfortunately. He drops out of the points. And that's promoted Toby up to 4th. Louis up to 5th. He's driving a great race, considering the start he had on those softs. A 2-stop is a bit more understandable here. However, the pit lane is quite long still. Not as long as Imola, but it's still going to lose you quite a lot. So that's a free position for Samurai. He's gone from P13 to P6, and now he's on the back of Louis for P5. What a great opening few laps it's been for the Williams. As that's in the background Callum breezing past Simon now, who's falling ever further backwards, who's blasted all his battery. I guess that's the reason. And maybe the driver in the car. So Seb using those hards now on lap 4 to stick with Grush within half a second. So Grush will be watching his wing mirrors. Seb has used quite a bit more battery though than the McLaren, who's saving up nice. And at the moment, not posing any threats. Yeah, that was a brilliant move from Oren right here on the opening lap. Around the outside of his championship rival at the moment. Great respect, great trust between them. I don't actually know if there was contact. Didn't look like there was any. And yeah, Toby knew when he was beat. And he'll wait for now, because he's still well and truly in this race. As is Samurai now, because he's only 4 seconds off the lead. And an undercut could be everything around here, but tyre wear will be important, especially the lefts. With corners like these, wow, those tyres are going to be screaming by the end of their stints. So, they're pretty spaced out. That's going wide for Toby. Penalties are also going to be a bit of a surprise, I think, today. As that's Adam closing up on Louis' already probably dying soft. So, Beanmeister is up into the top 6. That's great to see. And Deadgun has retired. I think that was on track, actually, because his dot is still moving. As that's Cookster making a move on Cal for P11. So, yeah, we've lost Deadgun. Orange just a bit on his own at the moment. Same with Toby, same with Samurai. Seb's battery's getting a bit closer towards Grusha's each lap as we go by. Seb, who I guess a couple weeks ago even admitted he is one of the weakest in terms of battery management, or saving per se, in his choice of words. But at the moment, it's not looking too bad. He's got the exact same as Toby behind him. Oh no, that's Oren. Oh no, yeah, the exact same as Toby. 2 cars behind him. Oren in the middle, pretty similar as well. Grush still has quite a bit of life still left in those mediums, as he's taken that part really well, because he's managed to get Seb out of a second there, as that might be a warning. And the detection point is round the final corner, so Seb has lost DRS. Oren hasn't got it, obviously. Neither was Toby. Neither was Samurai. Chaz F1 back making moves as he's ahead of Simon, who loses it into Cookster. And that's contact as Callum gets past Louis at the end of the straight. But at the start of the straight, Simon proving to be a bit of a hazard at the moment. Down the inside, hits Chaz F1, who's already not happy with him from qualifying. And, yeah, not great awareness from the Sauber, and Cookster's definitely not going to be happy with him. So Samurai really using, I mean, I don't know if he's using too much of his tyres right now, as that's Cal getting past Cookster. Don't know if in a few laps Samurai will start to struggle a bit, but at the moment he's got great pace to be within a second of Toby, who's just dropping a little further back bit by bit on Oren, who's keeping the gap constant to Seb, who it's usually around 6 laps in that the tyres start to be a bit more even with the hards to the mediums. However, Seb is once again not going to get DRS. Oh, it's close. Oh, he just got it. It was a 1.001, so it must have just dipped under, and that will help Seb out because Oren doesn't have it. You can see the red light flashing. See Samurai not blasting. He's just sticking with Toby at the moment. So yeah, now Cal trying to make a move on Simon. Gaining the slipstream. Goes to the right and will pass by the Sauber, demoting him outside the points. As a Cookster unfortunately pits. I was just about to say 7 laps in and we haven't seen a time penalty yet. Shock who it goes to first. So yeah, Toby, I think he's watching his mirrors more than looking in front of him now, because he's over 2 and a bit seconds behind Oren, because he's having a deal with Samurai, trying to make another move up through the field. 8 places he's gained, looking for a 9th at the moment. But the top 3 getting ever closer to one another now, all within DRS of one another. Really bringing Oren back into play as he loses the car slightly on the exit, and now he's got to push because that 1 second barrier is looming around as they head into the detection point, and it is bang on a second at the moment. And will Oren get it? Look how close those margins are. Amazingly, Seb didn't get it, but Oren did. That's just how close the margins are at Spain sometimes. So yeah, Seb having to blast a lot, but you can see how close Oren's getting with that DRS. It gains you an extra, I'd say, 3 or so tenths. It's actually not the most powerful track for DRS, I'd say. Even with wings and whatnot, as Louis has decided 8 laps is enough on those softs. That front right has seen better days. So he pits, so he will be doing the 2-stop. And yeah, these laps to come will be quite crucial for some of these drivers, of who's going to do the 1 and who's going to do the 2-stop. Mainly for Grush and Oren and Toby, and Samurai, I guess. If they can make the mediums last to around lap 13, 14, 15, whatnot, do the 1-stop. But if they pit within the next 3 or so laps, they're doing a 2. Adam just a bit on his own now. It's good to see Chaz has not given up. He's still going there. And P8 at the moment is still some good points as he looks to maybe chase down Callum in front of him, who after a horrible start is back to where he pretty much qualified. So, top 3 now within a second of one another with DRS, just about. That's the second time I've caught Seb doing that. So surely next time round will probably be a pen. I bet whoever I interview with the top 3, one of them is going to say, I had no warnings that whole race, and the other one will probably have the complete opposite. Toby, once again, holding off Samurai. Looks like Toby has good straight line speed. He mentioned that from Imola a couple of weeks ago when he won. A bit of redemption from Qatar 2 weeks before that. It was his straight line speed that won in that race, managing to fend off Yonder and Dello, who were always gaining on him in the straight, but his straight line speed was just good enough to hold them off every time. And at the moment, that's exactly what's happening. right now with Samurai, and it's actually bringing Beanmeister into play a little. 2 seconds has now gone down to 1.5 as Cookster fights away with Simon into turn 1, and it looks like he's going to get the place round the outside. Can you believe it? Simon's actually been involved in a clean battle as Cookster gets the move, but Simon's coming back at him, but with barely any battery, can't attack back at the Red Bull. So 4 seconds now. Toby's really holding Samurai up here. Amazingly, 4.4 seconds. Samurai's off the lead as Toby's in. I was going to say Samurai on lap. Everything's happening. Seb has lost a second, and that's allowed Oren to close up to the Mercedes. To the inside goes the Aston Martin. Oren's up in a P2, slides into turn 1, and he gets the move done. His tyres are not going to like that, but at the moment, that's dirty air for you, as Seb had to back off there, which is really interesting because I thought the hards would be better now, but it looks like Oren's still got some life left in them. So it looks like he's really in a fighting mood today, is Oren, and Seb just not quite getting the tyres working at the moment. So yeah, Samurai was 4.4 seconds off the lead after lap 4. It's exactly the same 6 laps later, just showing how much time he lost behind Toby. It could have been a lot closer than that. So yeah, Samurai, you can see how much he's pushing now that he's been freed up. So Toby pitted on lap 9 to 10. Can he get to the end? That will be quite the effort if he can make those hards last 24 laps. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in again. He's got a full battery, essentially. And, well, we'll see what the rest do. Grush stays out. Oren stays out. Seb obviously stays out. Not even with DRS, but he has a lot of battery. Maybe too much, because he's lost DRS to Oren, who has more battery. And, yeah, the wing open. And, yeah. Adam's still keeping the gap constant. He's lapping at the same as Samurai now, so that's good. They're all lapping pretty similar because Callum's not losing too much time. However, Chaz F1 was 4 seconds behind, but because he's on the hard compound tyres, has now got it down to 2.4, so he's using his hards to good effect. I just wonder if Seb's saving a little for when, because he obviously knows the 2 in front will pit first, and that will free him up to do some laps on his own, and then he will be the quicker one towards the end. So if he just saves some tyres now, sticks within DRS of these lot to drag him along so they don't pull away, then yeah, we'll see how his race unfolds. But this lap they've actually pulled away from Samurai, so maybe his tyres are starting to struggle now. So Oren, who started P5 I believe, yeah, as we head on to lap 12, is eyeing up a move for the lead of the Grand Prix. The championship leader, who made a brilliant move on Toby, who made a great move on Chaz, who overtook Seb on the straight down into turn 1. We're looking now. He's trying to gain on Grush to the inside. Oren from 5th to the lead of the Grand Prix. There's contact between Grush and Oren as Seb gets a time penalty. Oren still trying to fight away with the McLaren side by side between the Aston and the Papaya, as Grush has just managed to stay in front of the Aston Martin. He did not go defensive into turn 1 as that's Callum into the pit lane, Oren's teammate, as he nearly runs in the back there. Yeah, Grush looked quite passive into turn 1, just looked like he was going to let Oren go, but then they were side by side. Oren lost the car slightly. They made contact, which I think was just a bit of rubbing of racing. I think it was fine, but then Oren still stuck it out around the outside that turned to the inside. That's the 3rd time I've seen Seb go off. Somehow, no, what am I saying? He's got the pen, so obviously it was right. But that's a 4th warning then for Sebastian in the Mercedes. So yeah, Oren looked like he had it, and then Grush powered around the outside to stay in the lead. And even after all that squabbling, Samurai really hasn't made too much of a dent in the gap. But that's allowed Seb to be right on the back of these two. So, 6/10. Is Oren close enough to make a move? He's gaining in the slipstream of the McLaren, who is going defensive this time around. Oren's going to have to resort to the outside line this time round. Oren round the outside of Grush gets the move done this time round. Beautiful move once again from the Aston, who's now in the lead. And Grush, for the first time this race, gets a feeling of dirty air. But now Grush has to, as we have a yellow, and that is that Toby? What's happened with Toby? He's lost his left end plate. It looks like he was on his own. And he may have just lost it out of the final corner and hit the wall and spun. We have another yellow of Cookstu, who's had a spin as well. That one may have been incident prone. But Toby, I'm pretty sure, just lost it on his own there, unfortunately. Oh, that has completely wrecked his strategy. And Callum's already caught up to him. We could be seeing a Beanmeister top 5 here. And Chaz as well. I mean, obviously Callum will probably be on the 2-stop as well, maybe. It's going to be close. Right, let's look back to the leaders. Grush still knows he's in a great position to win this race because he's still with the leaders. But what does he do? Does he undercut Oren? Or does he stay out? Oren, last second, dives into the pit lane, waiting to see what Grush does. So Oren blinks first to make sure he's not undercut by the McLaren. So Grush will go one more lap. How crucial will that be? There's I think that's Samurai in the pits as well. Simon's left. So at least for the next lap, we know there won't be any incidents. So yeah, Beanmeister running up in 3rd now. So yeah, Samurai's pitted on lap 13 to 14. He should be able to take those hards to the end. Not exactly no problem, but they'll be in a better condition than the likes of Callum and, well, originally Toby. But unfortunately, for 2nd in the championship, it has not gone well for him. And 3rd in the championship of Samurai had it all to do from starting at the back. So that's allowed Oren, who, like I said, is pitted, to be looking pretty good at the moment. Grush still struggling, it seems, because Seb is right on his gearbox. Chaz is hunting down Adam now. A little Ferrari fight could be cool. You'd assume this will be the lap where Grush pits. But you'd assume wrong, because for some reason Grush is staying out even longer, keeping Seb at bay. Wow, 15 laps on mediums. That's quite a tall order. Seb not close enough to get ahead of the McLaren. Let's look at the gap as that's Adam in. So Oren's 19.7 off the lead. I bet by the end of next lap they'll go down to about 18 or maybe even 17. Because the undercut is quite powerful. Adam, fastest lap of the Grand Prix in the first stint. That's quite impressive. So, Adam exits the pit lane. He sees Samurai right there. And I think Callum has undercut Beanmeister. He has. But Adam on fresher tyres should be able to hunt him down. Oren's gained about 4/10 so far on this lap. There we go. So yeah, like we said at the start, Chaz and Seb are the only ones who started on the hard compound tyres. They should be going until at least lap 18, 19, 20 and whatnot. And yeah, Seb will be freed up in a second. I really hope Grush is pitting this lap. There we go. Into the pit lane, avoiding the wall of death. And Seb is freed up. Grush slows down. The board's gone, but that doesn't stop him from not speeding. And yeah, Seb will take the lead and Chaz will move up to P2. That spin he had, where he was around about a second or so off Seb, he's now 9. So if we remove, what, 6 seconds from Chaz, he's still around about where he would be, but that is going to turn into more like 10 seconds because he's had a big spin, unfortunately, at turn 3. We still won't lose him anything, but he's still yet to pit. And yeah, traction is probably the biggest issue for his race so far. So now Seb's been freed up. Now we can see what's happened. Oren has come out, well, Grush has come out 3.5 seconds behind the Aston Martin. So will that 2-lap deficit of fresher tyres for the Aston, for the McLaren, help him close up to the Aston of Oren? Considering Samurai's right there as well, we'll see. It's all down to Grush if he can actually, unlike last week, make the tyres work, have the pace, and chase Oren down. But he does look quite racy, but Samurai behind has his tyres fired up as well. Right, Seb's into the pits on only lap 17. That is very early for the Mercedes. Is he planning to not lose too much by staying out? That way he can be on the quickest tyre at this stage of the race. overtake everyone, get a gap, and then when his tyres die, he's got a big enough gap. Who knows? Chaz F1 then takes the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix, and Seb will exit. It's going to be close with Samurai as he exits the pits into turn 1, and Samurai has just gone ahead round the outside. Apologies, nearly when I rode a ball with Callum there, but Samurai has just managed to get ahead of Seb there and go around the outside of the Mercedes without clipping his front nose. Seb to the inside, tries a dicey move, dips it onto the grass because he knows he can't waste too much time behind the Williams, who's going defensive into turn 5. So Seb trying to get those mediums fired up. But right now you have to stay behind Samurai, who is going to be within DRS of Grush. So it's going to be tricky though for Seb. He might have to try and get him in the corners. So Oren has caught the leader at the moment, who will be into the pits in a couple laps or so. Seb closing up to Samurai, going to the inside. Samurai doesn't really look like he's fighting it too much. He knows it might not be his battle at the moment. So Seb has got ahead of Samurai. Pretty good place to get him because now he can attack Grush, who's got less battery than him. So Seb has caught Grush at a pretty good time, and Oren's caught Chaz at a pretty good time. As Chaz moves to the right, Oren will move to the left, and Oren will now retake the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix. So Seb blasting everything, Grush blasting everything. Seb will have to resort to the outside line, just like Oren did on Grush. Seb round the outside of Grush, slight contact, but Seb makes the move on the McLaren. No harm, no foul. He's up into the podium once again. And maybe with that 3-second penalty as Grush once again falls a victim of dirty air, but holds on to the position ahead of Samurai. Is this Seb's only chance to hold on to this podium? Staying out longer, he'd be a few seconds behind these two. Then would have to close up, then would lose time because he's used a bit of his tyres. Then has the 3-second. He may as well sacrifice his tyre life at the end to make up for it now. It's a short-term gain. It might be a long-term loss. So Adam has caught Callum, at least within DRS and whatnot. And considering we're past the halfway point, for only 2 people to have time pens, that's not even that bad. I mean, one's not actually in the race at the moment. He left. I did invite him. And the other one is Seb, who's sniffing the back of the Ferrari of Chaz. And that's going to be holding him up, but Chaz decides to pit now. So that frees up Seb with the DRS. He's 4 seconds behind Oren as Chaz speeds into the pit lane. There's a Grush. Oh, there's Simon. Grush and Samurai follow. That frees up Callum and Adam to the inside, who wants that top 5 finish, and at the moment he's going to get it. Beanmeister moves up into P5 now for Ferrari. Chaz exits the pit lane then. He's got both Alpines roaring down the start-finish straight, now swapping positions as they close up to the Ferrari, who's just going to be in front of them. And yeah, Chaz in P7. And Cal fighting away with Louis for P8 and 9. So yeah, I'm sure Chaz can maybe get a 10-second gap to these guys with new fresh mediums, and considering the pace he's had, shouldn't be too far bad. Speeding pen is obviously going to hinder him. The 2 spins he's had would still maybe only put him with Chaz and with Callum and Adam, maybe. I don't know. It might not even be that bad for him. Right, Seb, who was 4 seconds behind Oren at the start of the lap, has now got it to 3 seconds. But, I mean, at the moment, everything's going Oren's way. Seb, fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Grush does not have DRS. Samurai does. And yeah, even if Seb catches Oren, he's got to get a 3-second gap to Oren. I think the only one who can stop Oren is himself with any penalty or whatnot, or a mistake. But right now, he's looking good. Grush and Samurai, no, they just need to stick within 3 seconds of Seb, and they'll both be on the podium. It's actually a bit similar to last week. Seb was in Yannick's position, as the 2 Alpines putting on a bit of a show now, swapping away. Toby back up into the top 10 as Cooks to pits once again. Yeah, Yannick was P2 and had a 3-sec, and now that's Seb this time round, and that allowed Yonder and Toby to get P2 and P3, and this time it's Grush and Samurai. So yeah, Grush having a much better race this time round than Bahrain and Italy when he was on pole. As Chaz now gets a 3-second pen, So at the moment it'll be a P2 for the McLaren, but again, they're losing crucial points to the championship leader. He is the one to beat. And 95 will go to 120 after the first 8 races for the Aston Martin. Seb gained 4 tenths on that lap. So at the moment it's not going to be enough, because come 4 or 5 laps from now, the hards will be better and Seb will be struggling. And if his tyres really do fall off, maybe even Adam could get 4th in this race. Who knows? And maybe he can bring Callum along as well. It's a good haul of points for Aston. Like I said, big opportunity today for them to gain on RB. As the two Alpines swap again. Cal in front of Louis. Toby's chasing them down. Let's have a look at tyres. Yeah, Toby's fresher. Much fresher than at least Louis, who will probably be doing another stop. And this isn't the worst thing for Grush either, because even though he's not within a second of Seb, he's still closing in on Oren a little bit. He's only 3 seconds off the Aston, and remember, he's got 2 lap fresher tyres to him. So he should be doing what we're seeing right now, which is great to see. But it would help if he stuck with DRS with Seb, but it's tricky. It's a tall order to do. So right now he's just outside of it, and he's bringing Samurai along for it as well, who I think made a good decision to pit when he did, to be back with these guys, considering he lost 4 seconds from having to fight his way all through the field and being stuck behind. Was it Adam? No, I don't know. Oh, Toby was stuck behind for quite a few laps. So, ignore what I said a few laps ago of how Seb's not going to catch Oren, because at the moment, he's got it down to 1.3 seconds. I don't know if Oren's made a mistake or Seb has really turned the burners on, but he is blitzing it right now. And if he can carry this momentum to the end of the lap, he might just get DRS. He needs to nail these next 3 corners, though. And to gain 3 tenths is not... well, again, it's a tall order to do at the moment. 29%. I mean, Oren's ready for it, I guess, because of the amount of battery he has. So yeah, Seb will not get DRS this lap. But Oren can see him in his mirrors, as we are 2/3 of the way past now. And Seb blasting absolutely everything. Simon's AI exits the pit lane. Oh no, that's actually Simon, isn't it now? So he's lapped. So Seb will now have to lap Simon, who gets out of the way. Chaz now, fastest lap of the Grand Prix. I think that's a couple tenths quicker than what Seb did. Yeah, a 1 to a 4. And the top 4 getting ever closer to one another. Only 3.2 seconds separate. There's Simon's left again. Oh, he's actually not here now. Great. Alright, I'll wait a few minutes for him. 1.1 seconds now, so Seb still has got some life left in those mediums. This guy genuinely asked me a few hours ago, how do I get into Tier 1 as well? Just thought I'd point that out. Grush getting a little distracted with the lapped car. He's actually lost a bit of time to Seb, who's also lost a bit of time to Oren. Is the transition from 23 to 24, the lap where Seb starts to fall a bit backwards into the clutches of Grush and Samurai and Adam, who has left Callum now. We will see. Grush still holding his own against Samurai, who can't really attack him at the moment. Grush knows he's going to gain on a lot on Toby and at least a bit on Samurai to put himself back within the drivers contending to beat Oren now, I guess. Because with Oren leading and Toby down in 9th, I'll make that 8th. I mean, what's that? 21 points gained and he was 10 behind. So Oren's going to have like a 30-point lead or something now. Chaz at the moment will finish where he actually finishes, even with all the pens. He's driving strong. He's got some good pace today. It's just unfortunate of the 2 mistakes he's made. Well, 3 if you count the speeding pen. as the two Alpines are once again reunited on track. Cal exits the pit lane, and those two will fight to the end, with unfortunately Cookster looking to watch it all from P11. It's just been one of those races, unfortunately, for him. Not really his fault per se. It was Simon who lost it right there into him. As Seb has got within a second of Oren, and he's now on the back of the Aston. So, oh no, Adam. I'll quickly invite Simon as well if he's back online. He's not. Damn. Well, that's going to help Callum. Adam needs to get back as soon as possible, because this is a great finish for him, but he might lose a couple points. So, Seb pushing ever onwards then, which is great to see. I really did think we'd hit a bit of a stalemate there between the top two, but Seb is not giving up. He's pushing on, and now he's putting the pressure on Oren, who had 90%. Now it's down to 70. Grush watching those two unfold, praying that Seb can try and do something. Oren sliding on the exit there. Just watching his mirrors. The two Alpines swap again. As, yeah, unfortunately Callum has, well, for Adam's sake, has got past Adam. So Callum's up in the top 5. More points for Aston Martin at the moment. So, 6/10, nearly 7 for Seb, blasting his battery. And we'll see how close he can get to that Aston Martin. Adam's back in now. So, he needs to start the straight around about half a second behind the Aston. Maybe. I don't know if Oren was even blasting there, but Seb is definitely wanting to attack. The two old rivals from Season 9 fighting at the front once again. It's great to see. I can't believe it's taken me that long to realise. But, yeah. These two who made that season their own with the great title fight they had. And what do you know, 1.5 years later, we're back seeing them at the front. Remember, these two were right at the back in one of the first few races of the season. Was it Bahrain? Yeah, when Seb went kamikaze into turn 4 on the opening lap, and Oren just had a shocker. They were genuinely last and second last at one point. And look at them now in Spain, 1 and 2 again. It's great to see. The Season 9 champion, the Season 9 runner-up, looking to become champion this season. And at the moment, he's doing everything right. Grush has left Samurai behind a little. And if anything, he's closing up to Seb. So if Grush really wants to win this race, he's got to make it matter now. Because he's got to close up to Seb, overtake Seb, be with Oren, and then get him as well. Because it looks like Seb, at the moment, once again, may have just thrown everything by the kitchen sink at Oren using the tyres he has. But right now, he's just trying to get to the end. So, unfortunately, I don't know if Adam's AI pitted or Adam pitted. Either way, push a little, be within 13 seconds of Chaz. You've only lost one place to Callum, which you lost anyway. And I don't know if he would have got him back. Either way, it's going to be P6 and 7 for Ferrari, which is their best result so far this season because they haven't really done much else. Grush has lost a few tenths this lap. Samurai, considering he started at the back, a P4 finish, still keeping up very consistently as Toby's into the pit lane again for hard compound tyres with 6 laps to go. He's got to fight for points here because Cooks has just been promoted. Let's have a look at... I mean, no one's got any fuel issues. No, because we haven't had a safety car as that's Oren! The race leader going off into the gravel there at the exit, the final corner. And I think he'll just get away with that. But it will bring those behind closer. That was a scare for the Aston. Wow. That brings Oren... that brings Seb closer and Krush also a bit closer. Oren will clear up his tyres this lap and carry on. But yeah, 5 laps to go then. Samurai's sake, he needs to stay within 3 seconds of Seb. At the moment, Seb might just get this podium. Adam, fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Well within 13 seconds now. Chaz, maybe you could even catch him by the end with the pace he's got at the moment. Grush needs to make sure he sticks within a second of these guys. The detection point they've just passed, and he hasn't got DRS here. Is it in Seb's interest to give Grush DRS? Probably not. considering he needs to get as close as possible to Oren. If he starts the straight with this gap, he should be at least side by side with Oren heading into turn 1. But it's the dirty air that's going to be hindering. Look at that front left medium compound tyre. He's really going to be struggling soon. Dirty air is hindering slightly, but it is half a second gap. But with 20% battery to Oren's plenty, we'll see what it looks like into turn 1. Oren dipping onto the grass there slightly. Seb to the inside on his old rival. Can't quite get the move into turn 1, and Oren lives to hold on to the lead for one more lap. What about Grush's tyres? They look semi-okay. Front left looks a bit worn. Yeah, that front left on Seb's looks horrible. Oren's looking decent shape. Samurai's, yeah, that you can tell why he's lost a lot of time at the moment. Because, yeah, his are falling off the cliff. And Callum actually pits for soft. So, are the hard compound tyres really that worn that they're making pit stops this late into the race? Is that a puncture for Toby? His rear right doesn't look that healthy. I don't know. Well, he just caused the yellow, so maybe he just had a moment. Anyway, we have to look back to the front. Yeah, it's been a horrible race for Toby. No, he carries on, so yeah, no puncture. Now Grush is well within a second of Seb. But I think Seb is the big roadblock at the moment. Seb wants this podium, and at the moment he's going to get it because Samurai is falling ever further behind. Samurai could pretty much pit for fastest lap if he wanted to. I don't think he'd actually lose any positions. So Oren on lap 30 stays in front of Seb and Grush. He's actually done pretty well, Grush, but the annoying thing is Seb didn't help him in the context of dragging him along because he got him out of DRS quite early. And now he's not helping him in the context of he's the only barrier between him to maybe overtaking Oren for this win. He's got 3 laps to try and somehow get past Seb, but not lose DRS to Oren, and not drain too much battery to still be on a par with Oren, and then somehow overtake Oren. But Oren, who has put very few foot wrong today, he's made some great overtakes, has had some pretty good battles, and is looking strong for back-to-back victories like he did earlier in the season. For Saudi and Qatar, and now in Italy and Spain with 3 to go. It doesn't even matter if Seb gets ahead of him. It's only time pens that can destroy his race, and I do not know how many warnings he or Grush is on. Seb not blasting everything this time round. Yeah, his battery management's been much better, and if these are the top 3 I'm going to interview, I will tell Seb that, of how it's a lot better than Japan. Because if it was like Japan, Grush would have seen him flashing halfway down the straight and would have probably got ahead of him. And Seb probably knows that. He knows right now he qualified 3rd and he's going to get 3rd, just like where he qualified and finished in Japan for P2. Yeah, he'll probably be a bit annoyed at the pen, but who knows. He's gone very close to Oren there. Too close because the dirty air was crazy at that small of a distance that sent him off. And these drivers are just getting a bit fruity with the gravel. But they're managing to survive and not lose too much time. That's going to really annoy Grush, though. Because if he lost a bit too much, he maybe could have got Seb there. And actually, Seb was only like 2 tenths behind Oren, so he could have maybe got him. Grush has got to blast everything here if he wants to get past Oren on the penultimate lap of the Spanish Grand Prix. Grush is in the slipstream of the Mercedes. Seb's going defensive to the right. And Grush is going to have to go round the outside on the left, but he can't quite get close enough to Seb, who holds on for now. This has been a brilliant stint on those mediums for the Mercedes, considering how early he pitted. And, yeah, wow. He's definitely going to come under pressure, though, from the McLaren. Look at that front left medium. Wow. If anything, Seb may even lose DRS this lap, and Grush may overtake him, and it's going to be all for nothing, because he's going to beat him anyway. If anything, Seb just needs to make sure he doesn't mess around too much, because Samurai's only within a second of his penalty. And yeah, he has lost DRS now to Oren, who's all home and dry at the moment then, it seems. And, well, I'm sure Grush will want P2 on track for a return to the podium for the winner of the opening round of the season. See Samurai slowly gaining a little, but we'll see. Grush has to watch the dirty air, though. And that was close. But now he blasts his battery. Seb kind of powerless now with no DRS. Grush will go to the inside, and he will get P2 on track. However, the gap between Seb and Samurai, let's just watch out for that. It's a second to determine who's going to get this final spot on the podium. And with Seb's mediums ever falling down, is that a puncture? It is a puncture for Seb. A last lap puncture on those mediums. I really did wonder if he was going to make those tyres last. And on the final lap of the Spanish Grand Prix, utter disaster and heartbreak for the Mercedes. Samurai is going to get the podium at the moment, unless Seb can manage to haul the 3 tyres he does have intact around this track. Wow. He's really going for it, but at corners like this, it's going to be such a struggle, and I think that is the definition of done with the podium. Oh, Samurai's eyes are going to light up. Heartbreak for Seb. A last lap puncture we haven't seen for quite a while. Grush has given it absolutely everything to try and convert pole into win. He's just going to come up one short. Oren's going to do it again. He broke the record for most wins last week with number 12. It's win number 13 in Tier 2 for Oren. Oren wins the Spanish Grand Prix. Grush comes home for P2. Samurai will get on the podium in the last lap drama. Seb will finish 4th with a puncture. Really unfortunate for the Mercedes to lose the podium in that sense. Chaz finishes a race and will get some solid points. Great for him after all the issues with the penalties, though. That will mean Beanmeister gets a top 5 finish. That is a crash and a half. Top 5 for Adam. Great stuff, considering I think he's had no practice heading into this. Callum will get P6. 33 points for Aston Martin. That's a big gain towards the top for RB. And Chaz will finish P7. Only just 7 tenths behind Callum, to be fair to him. It was a great effort. And then the 2 Alpines in P8 and P9. Cookster gets a pen. It doesn't really change anything. At least he got a point. And Toby, unfortunately, yeah, it's not been the race he wanted. At least he's going to finish the race. And yeah, Simon P12 didn't really finish. He might get disqualified. Doesn't really make a difference. And yeah, Toby P11. Very dramatic at the end. Heart goes out to Seb. I did think he pitted maybe just 1 lap too early, but I can understand fully why he did it. And my driver of the day was actually going to be Seb, because he took risks and he really gave it. But they just let go. They looked horrible in the final few laps, and it would have been a miracle if they didn't pop. So yeah, really unfortunate for the Mercedes. But yeah, Oren, championship leader, now extends his margin. 25 points free from his closest rival heading into today, of Toby, who finished 11th. So Toby now has gone from 10 behind to 35 behind. And I think Samurai will now move up into second in the standings. He was 20 behind. Now he'll be 30 behind. So, yeah. And as for Grush, he was already 30 behind. So make that 37. So yeah, that's a nice cushion for Oren at the moment. But yeah, Grush is not done at the moment. I think he was really pushing there at the end. And yeah, Samurai's done well from the back to come up to 3rd. Pretty short race director, actually. As probably the shortest I've seen in a while. Right, let's get the top 3 in. Hope you all enjoyed that race. Grush, Samurai. Oren. Alright, we have the top 3 joining the party now. Right, first to join is Grush at the moment. Are you there, mate?
Yeah, I mean,
Hi, mate. Have you included your audio?
I have.
Great stuff. We'll just wait a sec to see if Samurai and Oren join.
I don't know if it's your connection or mine, mate, but you are a bit juddery with voice. Let me just check.
uh, Give me a sec.
Yeah, I can still hear you. Yeah, I can still hear you, mate.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Alright, great. Alright, well, there we go. Samurai's joined, and I'm sure Oren will in a sec. Martin, are you there, mate?
Yes.
Hello. Have you included your audio?
Yes.
Alright, great. Yeah, Oren will join in a minute then. Okay, we'll work our way backwards because yeah, that last lap drama was a big highlight. So, Samurai P3, you're on the podium from the back. There's a lot to discuss in your race and qualifying because there were quite a few surprises. But I think we should start where it finished. That last lap, I'm sure all the hope had gone for a podium, and then you see a slow-moving three-wheeled Mercedes. And yeah, what were your thoughts about that whole ordeal?
I actually feel so sad for Seb because at lap 25, I think I slowed down because my left front was like on 80%. And I prayed, I hoped that something happened in the front. I was like, please something happen, and it actually did. I feel so sad for him, but it happens.
Yeah, of course. I'm sure everyone watching, their heart goes out to Seb. So let me get this straight. With 8 laps to go on lap 25, you said your tyres were on 80%.
Yeah.
Wow. What were they on at the
Yeah.
end?
And 90 was something.
Jeez. I mean, you did pit relatively early, I guess, to the rest. It helped you overall
Yes.
because you were. I was keeping track. You had a great start. You made your way up into 5th or 6th by lap 4 or whatnot. So you were definitely in the fight. But then you just couldn't get past Toby for a few laps. And the gap was 4.4 when you caught Toby. And then when he pitted, it was still 4.4, meaning, considering your pace, it probably could have been a lot less than that. So you had to pit a couple laps earlier to reduce that. And then you kind of just stuck with them. Couldn't really. It was the same with Toby and Garouche. I don't think you got close enough to the wings and whatnot because DRS isn't actually that powerful at this track compared to a few others. But yeah, just take us through what happened in qualifying then. It was going normally. You did your whole 2 runs at the start and whatnot, and then you got disqualified.
Yeah, I actually don't know what happened because I was in the pits before my last lap, and I was like, okay, 3 minutes left. Okay, let's go out. I was like, okay, I put myself in AI. So, and I got out my phone. I was like looking for the chat and something. And the next minute I look up, I got disqualified. And I was like, what? What happened? And I have no idea. I haven't really.
Well, the only thing I can think of is maybe because I wasn't on board at the time. I was probably watching someone's lap. But unless someone in front of you has kind of stopped in the pit lane and that's made your AI stop, maybe that's made your car disqualified. But surely that would make the other car disqualified too. I don't know. Either way, really upsetting because I think you could have maybe qualified. Well, with your pace today, it was looking pretty strong. So a top 5 seemed definitely on the cards. But yeah, you didn't let that get you down. You had a great start up into the points already, and then bit by bit made your way past on the straights here and there. And yeah, I think if it wasn't Seb getting that podium, you certainly deserved that podium today. 3rd or 4th, either way, it was a great. We don't actually see that that many comeback drives from you because you always usually qualify pretty similar to where you finish right at the front. So it's good to see you can do that as well. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think now, after that, again, consistent drive you've had this season, that puts you back up into 2nd in the championship now, ahead of Toby, who didn't score today, finishing P11. You were 10 points behind him, so you'll be 5 points ahead of him now. You were 20 points behind Oren, that'll turn to 30. So you are the closest challenger to Oren now, but 30 points is quite a gap. But yeah, overall, it looks like you lot are still taking the fight to him. It's not like he's got a massive margin. It was only a second or so he won ahead of Garouche. So yeah, keep it up. Well done. And yeah,
Thank you.
on to Austria. How are you feeling about that? The first actual two-stop of the season,
Uh, I
I
feel
think.
quite good actually because I love the track and setup is also good. Maybe I will try the one stop.
Hmm.
I hope I can do it. I did it in Qatar, so why not?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can manage.
Yeah, I think the one-stop might be possible at Austria now. It definitely wasn't last season, but maybe. I really don't know about. Again, like this is the first track this season. I really do not know about the one stop. Every other track has been easy. Yeah, one. You save 20 seconds. For this one, I'm not too sure about. I remember, was it Adam and Kobe? I think Adam tried it last season to try and beat Kobe, and he had to pit with like 2 laps to go because he had either he had a puncture or he had to pit. Either way, it should be interesting next week. But yeah, well done
Yeah,
on the podium once again. That was
thank you.
literally a last lap grab. So yeah, um,
Yeah,
I may even interview Seb actually because I just want to get his thoughts on it. But for now, well done, and we'll move on to our P2 man,
thank you.
Garouche. Uh,
So,
Overall, how as far as it goes, pretty solid race and qualifying. Your third pole of the season. You are on it when it comes to qualifying. Fantastic laps all round. Even though you were on what looked to be a mega final run, it didn't
yeah.
come to the end. I think you were like nearly 2 tenths up. Maybe even could have seen an 11, but it was good enough for pole. Your third pole of the season. Most poles of anyone now so far this season. It's great to see, and it was almost third time lucky considering Bahrain didn't exactly go to plan and neither did last week. But you really showed some great pace out there, especially towards the end. You didn't give up. So yeah, just take us through the race from your perspective. How do you think it went?
Yeah, it's consistently better. I, wa- I mean, I want to say I've had a run of bad luck, but I just, I think this year's grid, especially the top 10, they're very consistent. And you make that, the tiny mistakes that you can normally get away with in like multiplayer lobbies and stuff, you can't get away with them in this league. So I just wanted to make sure that I kept my race pace up as well as stuck to my strategy. I'm trying to do a lot of tyre saving, make sure I've got an offset at the end, but it's not worked out in the last few races. So I thought I'll up the pace, and Oren pitted 2 laps earlier than me on the same strategy. And if to be honest, if Seb wanted in the way, if I'd have got to him a couple of laps earlier, it may have been a different result because he was crawling around on that last lap. His tires must have been screaming. I think I barely got it to 60% on the rear left. So I had plenty of life left in him. I could have pushed hard, but I'm happy with second.
Wow, that is quite a difference considering there was only a 2 lap difference between you and Samurai, and his were 80, 90, and yours were on 60. That wow. Maybe we have a new tyre whisperer. But yeah, pole position. Obviously, you had the two behind on hard, so it was kind of obvious you were going to hold on to the lead heading into turn one. Yeah, you kept a sizable gap to Seb for the first stint, and then Oren was making his way through. He tried one time, and there was actually a bit of contact into turn one, and then obviously the second time round it was fine. From your perspective, what exactly happened?
I think that was just a 50-50 racing incident. It come from quite a way back and broke really late. I anticipated the move coming. I tried to give him some room. Maybe I didn't give him enough room, and he outbroke himself a little bit. So it didn't ruin any races or anything. It just as racing goes, if you see the gap, you go for it, and he did. So fair play to him. Maybe I'd have gone for the same gap myself. So. Yeah, no, for myself, I put that down to a racing incident. It's just one of them things where, as you're racing, you'll know yourself. It can happen, and like I say, we moved on from it. I think I retained the lead from that point. So yeah, again, it's one of them.
No, yeah, I fully agree. It was a bit of contact, but no love lost, and then he still managed to carry on side by side with you through 2 and 3, and then you managed to come out in front anyway. So it was a good little scrap, just getting the elbows out, which is great to see. And then he did get ahead, and then what was very surprising was, yeah, well, now it makes a lot of sense because you went quite long on your first stint. I kept thinking, this is the lap he's going to pit, and you stayed out. This is the lap you stayed out again. And you went to lap 15, which was a big shock. You said your hards were 60% at the end, but what were your mediums on?
Oh, they were close at 80%.
Yeah, I thought so.
I, I still had the pace. I could still keep the gap with Seb, and I decided just to take on them couple of laps extra, just so that I have that offset from Oren. I knew that when I came out after putting the hards on that he were going to have a sizable gap, but again, if I could have maintained that second place and slowly reeled him in and caught him, a couple of laps sooner, then I really could have really fought for that win. Me and Seb had a battle. I think lap 30 or 31 just kind of slowed us down a little bit, and he managed to get a bit more of a gap between us. So yeah, I mean, I think the strategy that I chose was good. It's just I was a little bit unlucky with positioning, and Seb drove a really good race. It's a shame he did get the puncher. I realised once he'd gone onto the mediums, they were going to have to, but had to nurse them to the end, but he didn't. He went for it, and it was difficult at first to keep up. He got me out of DRS, but yeah, slowly reeled him back in again, and yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think, considering you said you still had quite a bit of life left in the hards at the end, I think it may have even been worth pitting the lap Oren did, or maybe just a lap early or so, to not
Yeah.
lose too much time. I guess that's hindsight, and hindsight is a great thing. Either way, you've come home with a fantastic P2 finish after, I think you could even call it, yeah, a bit of a string of bad luck, unfortunately, here and there. Japan springs to mind. But yeah, it's great to see you back at the front. It's great to see the pace you had, because you were only 1.4 off Oren in the end. If anything, Seb became a little bit of a hindrance in the last however minutes, because he was helped by Oren, and you couldn't get past him because of whatnot. And but yeah, either way, you fought really strongly. And yeah, how are you feeling about Austria next week?
Not one of my stronger tracks, I'll admit. Like you say, it kills tires for fun. So I think it's just going to be a strategy game. I think whoever nails it that day is going to take that victory. I mean, you can have all the pace in the world around there, but if you're nursing home tires that are in 80% for the last 2 or 3 laps, then pace is nothing really, is it?
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, depending on setups and time pens and whatnot, it may be easy to overtake. It may be impossible to overtake. From what I remember, I think definitely a two-stop, and I think around lap 9 and lap 22 are the laps to pit. Medium,
Yeah.
hard, medium, or whatever it is. Or maybe, no, medium, hard, hard, I think may even be better. But yeah,
Yeah.
either way, well done today on P2. And now we move on to our P1 man. Oren, are you there, mate? Oren? Hello, there you are. Are you able to include your audio again on Xbox app, or? That's fine. Either it's included or it may auto include. It doesn't matter. But yeah, either way, you have won the Tier 2 Season 12 Spanish Grand Prix, your 13th victory, extending now that all-time win record in tremendous style. But you did have to work for it still. But overall, it was a fantastic race from you, starting P5 to make your way through with some very interesting overtakes to winning the Spanish Grand Prix. I say interesting because one was absolutely amazing. The other, you really had to fight for it, and the others were just kind of straight. So yeah, let's go through it. Qualifying, yeah, like I said, you qualified fifth. I also think I saw you mention you had the third slowest, fastest lap by the end of the race. So yeah, wow. Yeah, I think you made it all up in the first stint, and the second stint you pitted when you needed to. I think the lap you pitted was pretty much the perfect lap to pit. Maybe a lap early or a lap later, that window. But yeah, let's go from the start. You were fifth. You made a fantastic move around the outside of Toby, your championship rival at the moment, the one who was closest heading into today. Was there any contact? Because from what I saw, it was just perfectly executed around the outside. No, it was the uphill 7-8. Like, it's not chicane, but I think it is. That's fair. And then you had a bit of a battle with Chaz. Don't know if you want to add any comments of the amount of times he moved on the straight, or the amount of time there was contact in 4 and 5. But you got ahead of him. And then next was Seb, which I think was just a straightforward on the straight move. And then yeah, and then like you said, there was a bit of contact with Groosh. He got ahead still, and then you got it done second time round. And then, well, you not necessarily never looked back, because you certainly were probably checking your mirrors a few times at the end when Seb was closing in. There was a few hairy moments here and there. I did catch you going into the gravel and on the final corner exit. What happened there? Oh my god. Yeah, you never want to go quicker than you already are heading into that last corner with the tyres you have at that rate. Um, Quali maybe. But yeah, besides that, I literally said the only one who's going to take this win away from Oren is himself at this rate. Because Seb behind has a pen, his mediums are going to fall off, and as soon as they did, I'm sure at that point you were certain I'm 100% winning. But at what point in the race did you think I'm 100% winning this now? Yeah, that's fair. So I think now, like I said, if my maths is correct, you now have a 30-point lead. Yeah, heading into today, you had 95 points for number 95, and well, 25 seems to be your favourite number at the moment. So yeah, once again, the only driver to win multiple races this season. 4 now to your name against the other 5 with 1. They're all trying to catch you now, so that seems to be the story for now. Obviously, we've gone through quite a few changes in the last week, losing, unfortunately, Dello and Finn, who were definitely contenders. And yeah, Midian and Josh were a bit more on the lower side, but yeah. Yeah, but we still got, obviously, drivers like today, Grushin, Samurai, and Toby when he doesn't race at Spain, it seems. And maybe a few others here and there didn't race today. But yeah, at the moment, it's all looking pretty good. Next, we head to Austria, where you have won before. How are you feeling about Spielberg next week? Dimitri, how are you feeling about Austria next week? Hmm. We haven't had rain all season. Yeah. In any quali, any race, not a spot of rain. So Austria would be a perfect place for that. Um, I guess final little bit. Any thoughts on your old championship rival and friend Seb? I didn't clock this, and it's embarrassing. I didn't clock this until I think lap 27 that I realised, oh yeah, it's Oren and Seb 1 and 2, just like it was in season 9. But I'm sure that must have brought a smile to your face, seeing. Because remember, I remember. I think was it Bahrain at one point. You and Seb were last and second last, and now 5 whatever weeks later, you are back at the front like it was a year and a half ago, and that was pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, yeah, unfortunate with the puncture at the end for Seb, but it's good that he tried a risk, and that's always like to see in these sorts of races. And he's still got P4. It's a great haul of points for him and Merck. Not quite the podium, but maybe next time out in Austria we'll see. But yeah, at the moment it's all looking good for Oren. Who can stop him as we approach the halfway mark? We got round 9 next week then of the Austrian Grand Prix. But that has been it for Spain. Oren wins again. 13 wins. It's not unlucky 13 this week because he's looking pretty lucky at the moment.